Hello my dear, so today we are going to discuss about chemical properties of refrigerant. I have already shared with you physical properties as well as thermodynamic properties. So this is the last property I am sharing with you, and this is most important my dear. If we'll see chemical properties, so let's get started with the first one, toxicity. Toxicity. So what you know that what is toxicity, okay, which is not good for our health. So that refrigerant must not be toxicity. But if you'll see ammonia, also most of the time this ammonia used as a refrigerant in ice plant, but this is toxic. Next property, first. Second property is because of COP we are using this, flammability. If you see flammability, then I also say flammability of the refrigerant. Refrigerant must not be flammable. It must be non-flammable. But again, if you see NH3, it is flammable. But even then, we are using. Most of the time we have heard about it. We have studied about it that ammonia is used as a refrigerant in icing plant because of its COP. Alright, because of its less running cost, because of its desired effect, because of its profit. So people are not considering this, and even then they're using this as refrigerant. Alright, now the next one, this is most important, but most probably if you are preparing for competitive examination, action with well, right? 1, 2 and 3. Why I'm doing this? Because I'm going to share with you three things here. First, if the refrigerant is mix, or I must say mixable with oil. If refrigerant is not mixable with oil, if refrigerant is partially mixable with oil, here do not create any problem, here also do not create any problem, but here creates problem. Now if you see example which is mixable with well, then R11 is there, R12 is there, these two refrigerant mixable with oil. If you'll see the refrigerant is not mixable with oil, then NH3 is there, CO2 is there. If partially then R22 is there. This is dangerous. So for the case of this one, we always use synthetic refrigerant. Synthetic oil for this case. But for this case, we always use mineral oil. For this case, we use mineral oil. And here we use synthetic oil. Most important, my dear, you need to understand this. So action with oil, there are three things I have already shared with you. Now we always used here oil separator between compressor and condenser. If you see the VCRS cycle, this is one of the basic cycle, right? If you see a compressor, then condenser, here evaporator, here throttle valve. So let's forget about all these two, because we condenser and compressor. In between these two, we are using what? Oil separator. That's why it will separate from refrigerant. Well, so what is all about? You have heard about this action with oil. I hope so, because if you have seen well has been dropped on water, then what will happen? Well will started flowing on water. So that is the same thing is happening here. So we need to consider that thing here, right? So now if we'll see another property, that is one of the most interesting one, because we always study about that thing. All right, so let me share with you. Fourth number, action with the material of construction. That is also important. If we are using NH3 as refrigerant, we must not use copper for construction of the tube lines, at least, because it will react. So what we preferred is wrought iron or steel if you are using NH3 as refrigerant. If you are using ferron, that means F will be there. All R11, R12, all these things, R12, R134 having ferron. That means we have to consider it also. I have already shared with you in case of finding out or converting from R to chemical name in case of saturated or as well as unsaturated hydrocarbon refrigerant. Alright, so watch those videos, you can understand about it quite easily, don't worry about that. Now let's come to this point. If we are using ferron, then we cannot use aluminium because again it will attack. Okay, so what we usually use in case of ferron, we usually use copper for construction of the system. That's why we'll not face any problem later on. So all these chemical properties you need to understand, you need to remember, you need to think about it. That's why it will be with you for a long time. Alright my dear, so thanks for watching. Hope to see you again in my next video. Bye bye. Till then, happy. Thank you very much.